Welcome, Bobcat Nation, to another edition of our Coach's Corner. With me in this edition is the assistant coach of the volleyball team, Jennifer Hefner. Coach, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
I know head coach Nancy Wheeler is under the weather today, and I'm not 100% sure she's comfortable in front of the camera anyway. So, but thank you for being here, and hopefully Coach Wheeler starts to feel a little bit better. So we're just going to dive into this. You guys went up to Edinburgh, played 4 games in 2 days.
Yes.
You came away with an 0-4 record, but a very young team at the start of the season, and I know you're right there with St. Rose. I'll just let you talk in general about the 2 days, and then we'll dive deeper into it.
We started our season at Edinburgh, and we did have the 4 matches, and we went deep in most all of our games. We do have a very young team.
Exactly.
You know, and I think anytime you looked at the court for us, we always had 3 freshmen on the court, so which is great. You know, it's a positive thing for us, the experience that they're getting. But most of the matches, I think St. Rose was our first team when we did go 5
sets. Right.
We were a little disappointed with that match because we started out quick, and we felt like we should have won that match. But overall, you look at all the positive things that we were able to see. We just got 2 starters back. It's the first time they played with us. They didn't even get to play in the scrimmage tournaments that we had. So it was the first weekend that we've had the whole team together.
Right.
So we saw a lot of positives from our younger players. And going into our tournament this coming weekend, we can only build from that.
Right.
So just a few points here or there, clean up a couple of things.
I mean, I know the games count, but do you almost look at it as kind of almost like a preseason in the fact that it's your first? I know you had a couple scrimmages, but to really, like you said, to have everyone at the same place, same time, and to go out there and actually compete.
Yeah, I mean, the beginning of the season, yes, it's the start of the season, but it's still a little bit of preseason.
Right.
Because getting 2 main players back, and you're still trying to get that lineup together, and the kids or the girls playing fluently together, it's pretty much when you first get to see really how the team gels together.
Right.
Just a couple of things here and there when you get into gameplay, because the teams we played this weekend, they're big teams.
Yeah.
I mean,
very good teams too. I mean, it was a very loaded roster schedule at the beginning of the season.
Most of the teams that were there are in the top 2 in their conference, so it was great competition. It really pushed our girls to see where we need to improve, but to see the positive things, like how we stacked up. Our stats in some of the matches were right there with every team. We had some great comebacks. So yeah, it's still a little bit of preseason leading into the next.
And volleyball is so different. I mean, you play up to 30 contests. Like I said, in volleyball, at least here, you always start with tournaments at Edinburgh or different places. So like I said, it does count, but when you get to conference in 3 or 4 weeks, that's really is what is important on the schedule.
And we talked about that a little bit this weekend. Yes, we play 3 weekends in a row.
Tournaments. Yeah.
So it's nice when you get to go and play 4 matches in less than 2 days.
Exactly.
Instead of just playing 1 match and you go home. So over those 4 matches in that short period of time, you really get to work on very specific things. So you don't go a day waiting.
Right.
You immediately get to move into the next match and get ready, to see what you have to work on. So it does prepare you, I think, a little bit more going into the regular season later in the month.
Right. Obviously a team sport, but are there any individual performances you want to pull out from last weekend that were notable?
I think at any given moment last weekend, we had different players kind of rise to the occasion. We just got our 1 freshman, Emily Doyle, back this weekend. She's been out with a little bit of a knee injury. So it was really our first chance to see her, and she's from Florida, and she really showed us what she could do. She had a couple matches where we gave her the ball, and she put the ball down, and she was so glad to get back out onto the court. So that was nice to see. We have, a senior in Hannah King. She's just a phenomenal, strong athlete. So there were times where she was able to capitalize on, some sets and really shine with her hits. We have a transfer in Madison Cooper. She transferred from St. Vincent's. She is a sophomore. And it was nice to see her back out on the court in a position she's more comfortable playing. She's an outside hitter. And she really showed us, some spurts of what's to come with her too.
And so you talked about this weekend, you go down to Athens, not quite as long as the trip.
Right.
But you will see one of your NBC opponents. Concord is not going to count as a conference game, but you will face them along with, let's see, Salem International, Shaw, and West Virginia Tech. And I don't want to disrespect any of those 4 teams there, but maybe the level of competition just a little bit lower than what it was at Edinburgh, which will give you guys a chance to maybe.
And that's what we talked about this week in practice too. We never want to look at another opponent that they aren't as good as what we play.
Right.
But 2 weeks ago we went down to Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and that scrimmage tournament was loaded with teams.
Right.
The level of competition was so high. Then this past weekend at Edinburgh, the same thing.
Right.
So it's nice to see that you might go, take a few losses, but it prepares you for the upcoming teams. So you always hope that the last teams were tough enough to prepare you for the competition coming in.
And have you guys been able to scout any of the teams I mentioned, Salem or?
We have not. I haven't personally. I know Coach Wheeler in the spring, when in the spring season they had a couple tournaments, and I think they played a few of these teams. But I will say, this weekend we do play Shaw University.
Right.
We played them 2 weeks ago in North Carolina.
Okay.
We did take games from them, and that level of competition was high. So it's nice going in this weekend knowing that we've already beaten a team that's there. So I think we'll be prepared.
And what's it like just for you and Coach Wheeler to get 4 games under your belt? I mean, it's both of you first-year coaches.
Right. We were both excited to get on the courts with the kids this past weekend, and the level of energy that they have and the positive feedback that they're wanting. That's what we look forward to the most, is seeing how well they improve and what they're looking for. But no, we were excited to be out there in our orange and black and just representing Wesleyan and our first, true regular season matches. So it's always nice to get out and get a few games under your belt as a new coach in a program.
And I know the preseason is important. It's a teaching part, for coaches to the student athletes, and even the scrimmages. But it's so, I know for coaches, it's fun to get into the season and actually have things matter.
It is. Like I was talking about our one freshman, Emily Doyle, because our preseason, volleyball preseason is so fast and it's a shorter season than some other sports. When you have a few players out with injuries and then you get into the regular season and you get everybody back, that's what's exciting, is when you get to see these athletes come out and kind of shine in their areas and start putting things together.
All right. And looking down the schedule, we'll go ahead and mention this. We'll probably have you guys back in here before this, but Wednesday the 20th, the home opener, Bluefield State. So I just want to let everybody know that 6 o'clock start time. I know it's usually at 7, but this will be 6. So go ahead and mark that on your calendars, Bobcat Nation. The home opener for the volleyball team will be Wednesday the 20th with Bluefield State. Because the entire month of September, originally you guys were on the road, so you were able to sneak a home game in there at least.
Yeah, we it worked out. Bluefield State, I think, got a new coach this year, and they did contact us, and they were still trying to add
some
to
games,
their schedule. So we did. We asked them. We said, "Hey, we won't turn you down if you can come to us. We'll gladly have a game with you." And the nice thing was, it did add a home game to our program.
Right. Yeah. Because I've talked to you guys. I've never seen a schedule where a team an entire month you're on the road. And I know you start with the tournaments, but still, it would seem like later in the month you'd have something. So hopefully next year that'll reverse and we'll have some early home games. So we've been given our 90-second wrap-up. Is there anything else you want to add or say anything on Coach Wheeler's behalf?
Just on Coach Wheeler's behalf, come out and cheer on the Bobcats, and we look forward to getting back here in our gym too and playing some matches and getting some more games in.
All right. Well, thank you for being here. We'll check back in 2 weeks, and hopefully Coach Wheeler is feeling better by then, and she'll be here to join us. So, but good luck this weekend at Concord, and get that first win.
We will.
All right. All right. Bobcat Nation, I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, thank you for viewing.